The way people talk about the work of Nancy Meyers has always rubbed me up the wrong way. Her films are often dismissed as light-hearted fluff, interior design inspiration, or chick flicks about middle-aged women with beautiful kitchens. And while there are some admittedly ridiculous plotlines in her films, from the insane divorce agreement in Parent Trap or so-called philanthropic work placement scheme for literal pensioners in The Intern, there's a uniquely heartwarming quality to her work that I haven't found anywhere else, with a nostalgic and deeply comforting style that comes from the lush interiors, warm lighting, messy but endearing relationships, and sweeping scores that perfectly underpin each moment. But more important than all of these components are the beautiful women at the heart of her films and their experience of love, heartbreak, and self-discovery. After going through divorce in her personal life, the subject became a key focus in Meyers' films, often exploring characters with a very practical and cynical outlook on love after failed relationships with long-term partners and losing someone who is supposed to be the one. It's a tale as old as time, and while the subject of breakups is not new to cinema in any way, it became new through Meyers' characters and the unique significance of their homes. While Nancy Meyers has a vast body of work, today we're going to be focusing on 3 of her films: Something's Gotta Give, The Parent Trap, and just in time for the festive season, The Holiday. Welcome back to Pompous Unhelpful Knit and to the melodrama of Nancy Meyers, looking at the plight of tough modern ladies and the journey back to the heart. In order to understand what's so special about the characters in Meyers' films, we briefly need to look at the rom-coms of the past, and in particular, the age bracket and characteristics of the leading ladies. While it is a genre that we all know and love, there is no denying that Hollywood cannot stand women of a certain age. Love stories in general are largely dominated by 20-something women or teenagers, with the industry being violently averse to female love interests with anything resembling a wrinkle, independence, or agency. In order to earn your place on screen, you had to be inarguably desirable to audiences, and youth has always been a key determining factor of beauty and sex appeal, because these standards are based on pedophilia. And if you didn't have youth, then you had to have the characteristics of youth, to be optimistic, carefree, and innocent. In the realm of love-based storytelling, the women typically range from 13 to 30, with the key stipulation being that even if you are pushing the end of this spectrum, you cannot look your age. You must look as fresh-faced and youthful as the people on the opposite end. As a result, representation for older women has been very slim and largely insulting, because to Hollywood, nothing is less sexy than an assured and confident woman with experience and agency who knows what she wants. And so when a woman enters this phase of life, she is no longer seen as a desirable or valid love interest. While there have been some female characters that challenge the status quo within this genre, whether it be an unmarried woman, The Idea of You, Baby Girl, or How Stella Got Her Groove Back, they cannot truly escape the patriarchal claw mark that has scarred the film industry. An unmarried woman follows a 40-something woman who reinvents herself after a divorce, but the main character was famously played by Jill Clayburgh, who was just 34 at the time of filming. How Stella Got Her Groove Back is one of the few films from this genre that centers around a black woman, with women of colour often being excluded from the rom-com entirely. The Idea of You is about a woman in her 40s who begins a relationship with a much younger man, yet Anne Hathaway is one of many women in the industry who looks much younger than she is, with the representation of normal aging women being slowly erased from screen through extreme cosmetic surgery and making this age gap hardly noticeable. There are so few love stories that genuinely challenge our outdated ideas about which women are deserving of love and desire, but this is where Nancy Meyers comes along, somewhat bridging the gap through women who look and play their age and are only made more desirable through their complexity, independence, and maturity. In The Holiday, The Parent Trap, and Something's Gotta Give, Meyers centers the films around mature, strong-willed, and very successful career women with great financial and material freedom. However, each of them has experienced a significant heartbreak that led to their subsequent hyper-independence and struggles with vulnerability. While each character is at a different stage of heartbreak and singledom, they have all dealt with it by detaching from romance entirely, throwing themselves into their careers and embracing solitude. In Something's Gotta Give, Erica Barry is a renowned playwright who was married to her husband for 20 years before divorcing. At the beginning of the film, she has written another hit play and riding a career high. But we learn that she is extremely cynical about love as she laments on the dating scene for over 50s and how she'll likely be single for the rest of her life. She is understandably frosty towards Harry, who embodies every cliché in the book as a middle-aged man who refuses to date women his age, making people like Erica feel undesirable. In The Parent Trap, Elizabeth James is a world-famous wedding dress designer and divorcee who was swept up in a whirlwind romance that led to twin daughters. We learn that Elizabeth refuses to speak to Annie about her father or reveal any details about their short-lived marriage. In the time since their traumatic divorce, she has thrown herself into her career and is now at the top of her game, designing a wedding dress for a Greek princess and wasting no time on her love life. In The Holiday, Amanda Woods is a highly successful film trailer editor who was cheated on by a man she thought she would marry. She's at the height of her success after cutting 75 trailers that year, but at a low point in her love life. She is so romantically pessimistic that she swears off men entirely, booking a holiday in a remote English town to escape them and proclaiming that she doesn't need anyone but herself. But perhaps more infamous than these characters are their beautifully designed homes and the quote Nancy Meyers aesthetic, a style that is cozy, warm, elegant, and serene, with neutral colours, rustic flourishes, and soft lighting. While there is something deeply comforting about vicariously living in these affluent spaces, these homes mean something different to Amanda, Elizabeth, and Erica, reflecting their success, hidden vulnerabilities, and becoming the only place where they can abandon the mask of being unemotional and unaffected by their pain. Women are often told that embodying traditionally feminine qualities is a sign of weakness, and as highly successful women, they're encouraged to adopt a masculine facade in order to maintain their power. Being vulnerable, emotional, or dependent on another person would limit their ability to be taken seriously, and so they present themselves as being tough, emotionless, and unfeeling in order to be respected and avoid their past pain. But anyone who lives with such a harsh facade needs a space to escape it, something that manifests in their homes. They have all been deeply hurt in the past, yet cannot show it, with their homes being a safe, interior world where they can be vulnerable and protected, a space that grants freedom of expression and where they can access their emotional inner worlds. It's a space where they can enjoy their success, with each room being a celebration of this and the sacrifices they've made in their personal lives to reach it. Their homes are their castles, their fortresses of solitude, a physical manifestation of their heart, and the hidden softness that lies at the center of it. But more interesting than the safety provided by these homes is the crucial role their homes play in their emotional journeys, with the space encouraging moments of breakthrough vulnerability as they finally break down the walls and let someone in, with each of them crying after years of repressing their desire to be loved and truly seen. For each woman, her facade of indifference to romance is shattered after meeting a man who threatens her defense mechanisms and restores her faith in love, with each love interest embodying qualities that go against the conventional rules of the rom-com. In Something's Gotta Give, Erica finds herself being pursued by two men, Dr. Julian, who is much younger than her, and Harry, who is the same age as her. Within the world of the rom-com, it is entirely uncommon to see a younger man pursuing an older woman, something that shocks Erica as she cannot believe that he would be romantically interested in her. But he tells her that it is because of her age that he finds her sexy, because with age comes experience and intelligence. This goes against what we expect of male characters in the genre, a rare expression of desire that restores Erica's faith in love and men. While Harry is not sexy in the same way as Julian, he shares an undeniable chemistry and connection with Erica that they both find hard to ignore. After resisting both men and struggling to open up, she eventually gives in to her feelings for Harry, and for a few days, they are very intimate and vulnerable with each other. But what encourages this connection is the fact that Harry has penetrated her outer shell by spending time in her home. The two of them are alone together in this very personal space, prompting an uncommon level of vulnerability from Erica as she finally confesses her feelings. After repressing her desire to be desired, her feelings for Harry prompt an emotional outburst that she has always pushed beneath the surface, with one brilliant scene as she opens the floodgates and lets herself cry for the first time in years. In The Parent Trap, Elizabeth has been a single parent for most of her life while juggling a very demanding career, but after her estranged twins orchestrate an unexpected reunion with her ex-husband, Nick Parker, all the love and heartbreak associated with this relationship comes flooding back, with the pair realizing they have unresolved feelings for each other. Liz initially resists these feelings because Nick is engaged to a much younger woman, Meredith Blake, the traditional image of youth, beauty, and sexiness. But they can't quite shake the lingering love that remains between them, and in one truly beautiful scene, he reminds her that she doesn't have to be strong all the time.
You don't always have to be so brave, you know. Oh, but I do, actually.
But Liz is deeply afraid of being hurt again, and so she returns to England. However, it doesn't end there. In possibly one of the most romantic scenes of all time, Nick follows her to England and confesses that he has never stopped loving her. Liz is reluctant to reciprocate even though she feels the same way, listing all the things that could go wrong and trying to enforce the emotional barriers she so tightly held onto her entire adult life. But ultimately, her desire to love and relinquish this barrier is too strong, and so they kiss and get back together, with a gorgeous close-up shot of the pair embracing while Liz is crying, finally allowing her feelings to come to the surface. The moment also takes place in her home, with Nick's unexpected arrival catching her off guard as he breaks down the final wall to her heart and goes against tradition by choosing the woman he shares history with, not the younger woman.
We actually did it.
In The Holiday, it's slightly different given that Amanda Woods is staying in someone else's home, but the space still lends itself to the same effect. After doing a house swap with Iris and staying at her home in Surrey, she accidentally meets her brother, Graham, who drunkenly turns up on her doorstep in search of his sister. Sparks fly and the two of them have a one-night stand. However, they slowly realise it's more than just a physical connection and begin a winter love affair that becomes quite serious. Amanda realises the connection could be very meaningful, but both are aware that there is an expiration date on their relationship, given that she must return to LA. Amanda's ex-boyfriend was emotionally unavailable and unfaithful, with Graham being a stark contrast to the men she has dated before, and also to the typical love interests within this genre. He is a single, widowed father, has a fairly unglamorous life, and is very vulnerable and emotionally available. On what they assume is their last night together, he cries and tells her that he loves her, asking if she could attempt a long-distance relationship. While deep down she knows she wants to stay together, she remains practical and unemotional about the situation, saying that it wouldn't work and they should leave the relationship as a fling. But after saying their goodbyes, Amanda realises she has made a terrible mistake. At the beginning of the film, we learn that she hasn't been able to cry since she was a teenager, but after leaving Graham, she is shocked to find herself crying, knowing that for the very first time, she truly feels for somebody who sees her for who she is. And so, in another truly wonderful scene, Amanda runs out the car with tears streaming down her face back to the cottage and to Graham, where she confesses that she feels the same. The cottage is a safe space for her to express the more sensitive side of herself. She escapes her everyday facade on the opposite side of the world, with the space becoming an embodiment of the opposite qualities she has repressed: warmth, sensitivity, and care. All of the women in Meyers' films have emotional climaxes and moments of breakthrough connection that take place in their homes, with years of repressed tears being released as they finally let love into their lives. The characters are encouraged to do this through the radical choices and vulnerability of the men they end up with, who all rewrite the tropes associated with the rom-com by choosing partners that go against Hollywood tradition. Nick chooses Liz over the younger woman. Dr. Julian and Harry choose Erica over the other younger woman they've been dating. Graham is made sexy and desirable through his sensitivity, something we rarely see from male characters in the genre. Meyers reverses traditional gender roles by showing how the vulnerability of her male characters allows her female characters to break down their emotional barriers, finally opening up and completing their journey to the heart. Nancy Meyers' films are about so much more than beautifully designed kitchens and silly love triangles. They're about the plight of tough modern women and the struggle to be seen as multifaceted beings, to be both strong and soft, independent and dependent on someone they love, to open their hearts and homes after keeping them closed for many years. Hollywood might have excluded these types of women and branded them as undesirable, but Meyers rewrites this genre to make these characters feel beautiful and desirable through the strengths that have isolated them. They aren't cautionary tales about career women who can't have it all. They're about women who have been made to feel as though they can't. And just when they think they have no tears left to cry, love shakes them awake and they realize there's so much more to be lived, ending up with everything they didn't know they wanted.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary.